Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 8 of King City. Now, if you're new here, this is the first time I'm playing Cities Skylines, and therefore King City is the first city I'm attempting to build in this game. So feel free to go through my channel and take a look at the previous episodes and see how we kind of got to this point with our city. In the previous episode, we tackled the waterfront and tried to build the whole place out. Now, it was relatively a big part of the city, and therefore it took some time for all the zonings to get built. We kind of had to wait for the demand to come in. But I did go off camera and let the game run for some time, and now we basically have most of it built out. Actually, I think all of it now. It has become a lot more dense than I originally anticipated, and the main reason is because we did run the trams through the waterfront, and to be honest, they weren't getting that many riders, and I just thought it would only make sense to add a lot more density in the area just to have the trams at least half full, and we kind of have achieved that in terms of numbers. So I did go in with all the pedestrian streets that we'd put in and zone these smaller apartments. All of them are 2x2, both the North American high density and some European high density, as well as some medium density European apartments. In this part of the street, we have buses and trams running alongside one another, and my idea behind it was having passengers switch between the two methods of public transit. Now, I'm not sure if that works in the game or not, but that was what I was kind of hoping for. And we do see again higher ridership in the trams, but I'm sure that's mostly got to do with the new buildings that are now built in the area. But again, here we see just over 100 people on the tram, and it's kind of at the halfway point, which is good enough for now. Hopefully that can be improved in the future with more lines being added. So this is technically the last stop on the line, although we have a loop for the route. And this area is mostly single family homes and townhomes. But again, we see a lot of people using the line, even at this stop, which is pretty good. And just look at this guy's house. It is literally steps away from that tram stop, so that's pretty good. Pretty good to see that people are using it. And I did kind of put some trees down here where we have the main highway coming into the city. I just wanted to give it a more proper look, and I don't think it looks that bad now. So that's that. And I have kind of laid down some streets here to go in and put some more single family homes since we've been having the demand for it. And I did also create this little center, if you would say. We have some soccer fields, stadiums, and community pools. So I thought it would be a great place right in the middle of all these single family homes to have such facilities. Now, here we're just expanding on the neighborhoods we have to the south of us, and we're doing some more single family homes and kind of expanding the suburbs because, again, we have the demand for it. And since we have a lot of single family homes in this area, I thought it would only make sense to continue adding neighborhoods with similar nature to the ones we already have. I have mentioned in the previous episodes that this highway coming into the city from outside of the map, we just have a terrible traffic problem. And I've let the game run for a few hours now, and there seems to be no relief in sight. It's just a continuous flow of cars. So I kind of was forced into going in and building a new highway. So this highway is going to be north and south, and I just thought it would be essential to build this so we can add new connections into the city and hopefully get rid of all that gridlock that's just been there for the longest time coming into the city. Now, was I necessarily looking forward to building a new highway? Not really. But again, I feel like I was forced to do so. And this highway is going to be elevated for the most part. Now, I wasn't really planning on making it elevated, but it just happened to be so. But after doing it and trying to put in the interchanges into the streets that go through the city, I realized it's honestly kind of easier to make all these connections once you have a elevated highway compared to one that's just ground level. I don't know. I just feel like all the on ramps and off ramps, it's easier to connect them once you have the highway going over that road. Whereas if they're both at ground level and you try to do all these elevated ramps over them, it can be challenging, especially trying to make sure they don't look wonky or weird. So I went with elevated for the most part, except this part we're doing a little underpass where we have the other highway. But in terms of on ramps and off ramps, we're only doing 4 here. So if you want to go the other direction, you would kind of need to get on this new highway and go make a turn somewhere and go south again. Just because, again, trying to do the whole elevated ramps here, it would just kind of get crazy. And I don't necessarily think we needed them here. So we left it out. Alright, now for our new connection into the city from the new highway, I'm extending the street that basically has the trams running on it. And we are going under the new highway. And I'm going to do these simple on and off ramps. And they're going to go to ground level and they'll just intersect with the street we have. Now, where they intersect the street, we're going to put these roundabouts in. Again, I just find the flow to be better and easier. So just like that, and then we're gonna have now the on ramps from the same place going onto the highway. So for the north end of the highway, I basically extended it all the way up to where we have the map of the game. And I'm just going to have it basically intersect with a 6-lane street here. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy. And honestly, I don't think we need anything special for this part of the map, because from my calculations, we're not going to have too much crazy traffic here. But you never know with this game. So we'll go with it right now, and we'll assess basically later. We need the game to kind of run for us to see where we stand. But yeah, again, we're going to have it intersect with the street here and put in some roundabouts again. And that's pretty much it. Back to this area, we are just finishing up the neighborhood with some more single family homes, and they do have that new highway connection right there, so moving in should be pretty easy. Now, as I was working on this, something pretty weird happened in the game. I just zoomed out and I saw all these houses were condemned and they were basically getting demolished by themselves. I still don't know what happened. I don't know if I accidentally zoned them with the single family homes, but I didn't even come to this area of the city. I was just working on that side of the city, so I'm honestly not sure if I did something wrong or if the game kind of just glitched and was kind of crashing on itself. So let me know if this has ever happened to you. I just got scared and just put a new hospital down. I'm like, maybe it's because they don't have like enough health here or something. But all these areas with medium density and high density, they were getting demolished and they were getting replaced by single family homes. And even this area, remember how I said I only went in with 2x2 tiles for the zoning just because I wanted the houses to be pretty small. The whole available area was getting zoned by itself. I honestly have no idea what happened. But it was basically ruining my city. Just look at all the empty spaces now where we had apartments and offices, and they're just gone. And even in the water, like, there was no way I accidentally zoned this while I was working on that side of the city. So I did try to do damage control as much as possible. I went in and removed all these zonings and try to go back in with the original ones I had put in. This was pretty annoying, to be honest, especially in the waterfront area, just because I tried to plan it and make it look in a specific way. So this was basically ruining the whole thing. And look at this area. We had all these townhomes and apartments here, and they were just getting replaced by these random single family homes. I mean, I did have the single family home selected when I was zoning the houses in that new neighborhood up there, but I didn't even come to this area, so I'm not sure how this would have happened. But yeah, I did try to fix it for the most part. Some areas I'd forgotten what I put down, to be honest, but I went in with just what I remembered. and I did try to fix it off camera too. But yeah, this was honestly just pretty annoying, and I hope it doesn't happen again. Just because you put in all this effort to make sure you have the neighborhoods look the way you want them to, and then this happens all of a sudden. So there was a lot of rezoning that I had to do again. Okay, so that was quite the mess. I did try to clean it up and rezone everything back to its original form. Now, I probably have missed some spots, but I will go in again and try to see if I have missed any. But hopefully, it won't happen again, but we'll see. Now, here I'm just adding a new ramp right by the gas power plant. I'm just trying to have an extra connection into the city. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that as a permanent ramp, but we'll see. And back into our single family neighborhood, we're just going with some trees and a bit of retail. And I'm also going to go into that street where we have all the sport fields and put in some small townhomes. Also adding a few parks into this area and a few pathways just for better connection. All right, so we did build a new road underneath the new highway. And again, I'm going in with simple on and off ramps from the new highway onto the street. And my intention with these new connections into the city is basically just more options for people to get into and leave the city. Just because I feel like the ones we already have are kind of limited in number, and we've had constant traffic almost at all of them. So I do believe the problem is fundamental and not necessarily just people moving into the city, although that could contribute to that. But we'll see how these new ramps will handle the traffic. We're already having a lot of traffic from that new temporary ramp that we put by the gas power plant. But yeah, and also just look at the number of elementary schools I have there. I think I have 4 or 5 right by each other. But as soon as I put them down, they're at basically their maximum number of students. So I'm not sure how many more I can put down because they do take up a lot of space too, right? And this is where I was talking about the small townhomes right along this street. So because this street is kind of more of a main street, so why not? Let's add some light density to it. And yeah. All right, so I do think it's time we cross the river onto the other side and kind of start our development to the south. Now, does that mean I'm not going to develop the area that we've been building so far? No, because there's still a lot of land to be developed up there. But in terms of density and tall buildings, I do think we have kind of reached this threshold level up there. And I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be putting in any more tall buildings. Now, I still might, but I am finding it kind of hard for the placement of them. So I do think it's going to be easier to kind of cross this river and have more urban, dense, tall centers to the south of where we've been building so far. So we are doing this little bridge from the street that connects to the trams. Now, there are multiple reasons why I'm going with this road in particular. One is because it's connected to the tram depot, so there is potential for the trams to be continued into this area from that same street. So that's always a plus. Also, the street that we have to the right of it, it's the pedestrian only street, and I plan on keeping it like that. I don't want to change it. And everything to the left of that street is basically all suburban areas, and I don't necessarily think it's going to be the right connection. Now, I might go in and add connections from those areas as well in the future, but for now, I thought the first one, this would probably be the best location. Now, in terms of the street layout here in this new part of town, this is by no means a final design in terms of how the streets are going to look like. This is just a rough start because once you come into this new area, it is kind of difficult trying to figure out what you want to do with it. I just saw that we had some high density residential demand, and I thought since we're going to do taller buildings in these areas, why not just go in and try to put some tall residential buildings in? And I just went with that location close to the waterfront, so they kind of have that view of the waterfront. Now, as soon as I put it down, we had problem with the water network and the sewage. So then I realized that the bridge doesn't continue all the water pipes down here. So I went in with some new water pipes, and then I saw the current, so I had to move them. It's almost as if you're starting all new because nothing is basically connected here, right? And yep. So yeah, those streets that I put down, they are kind of rough in terms of where they're going to be or if I'm going to keep them there. But I was just trying to get this residential apartment area built, um, and then kind of go from there and see how it will turn out. And that's what I was saying. Like, I like having these tall buildings facing the waterfront. I think it would make it look nice once they're all done and finished. Now, for the highway that we started up there, I am making a new connection from it to this part of town just because I don't want everyone to be using that bridge that we just built, because you can already imagine that's going to be a complete disaster. So we are just continuing the street underneath the highway, and again, simple on and off ramps into this part of town. Again, just more options, more connecting connection points. Hopefully, traffic will flow. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna do with this highway is connected to an existing highway that comes with the map of the game. The new highway will end once it meets the other highway, and we're gonna have on and off ramps from all sides. And what I do like about this new highway is that it's connected to two highways from either side, and each highway leads into and out of the city. So we're gonna have some new connection points, and hopefully it will help people who want to kind of get around the city and not necessarily be going into the core. But we'll just have to see how it stands the test of traffic, and this is where it will end. We're gonna have the elevated part come down to the ground level and basically merge with the existing lanes that we have. Now, since the original highway is 2 lanes, we are making it into 5 for this section, and then 4, and then 3, and then back to 2. Just so for people to merge easily and not really have a lot of chaos. Now back to this residential area. I'm gonna go in and put in some more streets with the same layout and go at some high density apartments again in front of the ones we already have. In terms of the vibe of this area, I do want it to seem like a master plan community where we have the buildings located in a certain way to get the full view of the water, the river, and the waterfront that we built on the other side of the river. But I also got to see how long we can go with the same layout and what feels right. So once I feel like it's enough and the area seems complete, I'll probably stop zoning like this and hopefully create some sort of area in the front with access to the water. That'll probably be the most ideal solution. For the main street that leads to the bridge, I'm zoning a lot of high density offices. Are these gonna stay here forever? I'm not too sure, to be honest. We'll see how it will go. But for now, they're gonna be there. And we also have a parcel of land kind of left empty up here. And why not go in with some more single family homes? Now, I was trying to do it a bit more dense in comparison to the ones we have to the south of it. But once I put in the roundabouts, the street layout was looking kind of questionable. So I'm probably too immature, I don't know. I went in and removed the roundabouts and just continued the trend from this side. Now kind of looks better. But the whole point was to have these streets that are straight, that can basically zone the most amount of houses. Because once you do end up breaking the streets and bending them, you do get quite a lot of empty areas where you can't zone. But this way, you're going to have houses right beside each other, and it's going to be a bit more dense. And I will also go in with 3 more schools just because they're just packed. Like, as soon as you put them down, they're packed, so we need them. Whatever. I did end up moving the location of the schools just because the street they were on is connected to 2 other main streets, and I prefer to have schools on more quiet streets, so that's for that. But instead, we're going in with 3 of these parks here, and I will end up connecting them in between with the walking paths, and I think it will bring good value to the neighborhood. For the other section of this neighborhood, we're going to leave it for the next episode. But one last thing I will do for this neighborhood is to go in with the noise barrier walls and put them along this highway here, just so the residents are a bit more comfortable living there. I mean, having your backyard facing a major highway in a city is definitely not ideal, but it is what it is. Many big cities have that problem. Many people live next to busy highways, so the next best solution is the noise barrier walls and probably some trees. That's about it. Now, I did spend some time looking at the city from the aerial view, and I do gotta say the new area looks pretty weird to say the least. You just have a bunch of tall buildings sticking out, but obviously that's gonna change over time, and some of them might be gone. I don't know if I'm gonna keep them all, but for now we'll keep them. But the street looks pretty cool once you have all these tall buildings on either side. Highways are pretty busy again, but I hope once people move in, they'll settle down and traffic will flow. But at least this interchange out in the middle of nowhere is working fine. So we did something right? Alrighty guys, so we have passed the 50-minute mark for this video, and I am gonna wrap it up just because I don't want the videos to be too long and hence boring. But if you guys do enjoy longer videos, do let me know and I can definitely keep going. We can make them longer. So for this last little part, we are back at our waterfront, just checking the ridership of our trams, and they're doing pretty good. They're just about halfway full. Now we'll be definitely working towards full ridership for the trams, but that's probably going to take some time. But all that said, please leave me a comment. Let me know how you feel about the city, how you feel about the way I play the game. Feel free to leave any suggestions, both in terms of how I play the game and how I record the game. I am always open to any suggestions from you guys. Just because, again, this is my first city. This is the first time I'm playing the game. So I could probably be making a lot of mistakes. And that's pretty much it. One last thing. We are putting a hospital in this part of town. And again, with the location, it can change. I'm not sure. But I just wanted good access for healthcare for the residents here. Just because I feel like it's going to ruin the demand if I don't put a hospital here. But yeah, I just wanted easy access for everyone. Alright guys, thank you for watching. We'll be coming back with a new episode soon, hopefully. And all the best to you guys.